Pilot 2, Miss Mazeppi here. Today I'm going to go over the process of writing your plot, setting, and mood literary analysis for Literature and Composition 2. If you click on the 100 points, it will take you to your rubric. This is how you will be graded for your literary analysis. I will grade on Canvas this year for everybody, so I'll make comments on there, and you will get one of these back with circles that shows you where you fall. We like for you to be in this A advanced category. Okay, so while you're writing your essay, make sure that your essay fits every single one of these criteria. Don't worry about doing the self evaluation this year. Okay, but I just wanted you to see where you will be graded for this essay. Okay, so a literary analysis, we are looking at the parts. Okay, so we've been studying plot, setting, and mood. So the parts that we will be analyzing will be the plot, setting, and mood of the story. So you'll see your task here. You are going to write a literary analysis focusing on plot, setting, and mood in one of the short stories we've read in class. Okay, so here are the 4 that we've read in class. Choose one. Okay, think about the charts. You'll use those to write your essay. Which one did you feel like you connected to the most? Which story was your favorite, and which one do you think you can focus on in your essay? Okay, so let's just say, for example, you really loved the Alice Walker story, you really loved Everyday Use, and you go back and when you find your plot, setting, and mood chart for that story, it is very detailed enough that you feel like you can really analyze what Alice Walker is doing with the plot, the setting, and the mood of that story. Okay, so you're going to choose that story. Here are your requirements. I'm looking for 2 to 4 pages, 5 paragraph structure. We'll get to that in a second. Uh, Double space, 12-point Times New Roman font. That's all part of your style on your grading rubric. Must include direct quotations, proper MLA heading, and MLA citations. Okay, you're going to be submitting to turnitin.com. It needs to be submitted through Canvas to receive a grade and report back no more than 30% match. Now, we talked about this with turnitin.com. Since you are using sources and your source is your short story, 30% matched is what we're going to go for on this one. Okay? I provided an outline for you. If you're the type of person that likes to use an outline, what I would do is I would file and make a copy of this document, and you can just fill in your outline as you come up with it. Your attention grabber, background, thesis, all needs to be in your introduction. Your body paragraph with following body paragraph structure. We'll talk about that in a second when I get to your steps. I set mine up for my outline in a plot, setting, and mood format. Of course, you can always change that, but make sure that your thesis here outlines it. Okay? And then end with a conclusion and final thoughts. And end with a works cited. Okay. So what I've provided for you further down on this document is a step-by-step process. Normally we do this in class, but if you're at home, you will be doing this on your own. Okay, so I thought I would outline the steps that we would take to write a literary analysis essay. So the first step I consider is setting up your analysis, beginning a new document in Docs, and setting up your heading so that it matches the example. Okay, you need your name, your teacher's name, that's me, Miss Mazeppi, class name, Lit and Comp 2, we're just regular Lit and Comp 2, okay? And then the date in day, month, year order. You also need a title, but for now it can just be a working title since it is a draft, okay? But you do need a title, and it needs to be something other than plot setting and mood literary analysis. Think of something a little bit more creative. Like I said, it can be a working title for now, okay? So your doc should look like this example here. You see how she has proper MLA format. Her name is in the corner with page number, and she has a title. This is 12-point Times New Roman, okay? I think it's important to set that stuff up right in the beginning. That way you just don't forget. Of course, we'll revise and we'll go through all that later. Step 2, hook your readers into the story you've selected. See this document with examples of engaging hooks. Okay, so hooks and leads. This is where you get to be a little bit creative. So if you are the type of person that doesn't really love structured essays like this one, you consider yourself more of a creative writer, then this is your place to shine. So if you go to this hooks and leads document, you'll see different types of hooks and leads. Any of these would be great. Okay, so dialogue is a good place to start. An imagine statement would be perfect for these. Imagine never having to set your alarm again, never being rudely awoken from a pleasant dream of frolicking through the field of grass. Imagine the year is 2081 and everybody is finally equal. Okay, so any of these would be great examples. Of course, you're not limited to this document, but any of these work for great hooks. Then you're going to provide background information to the story. Okay, so assume that your reader has never heard of your story before. What might they need to know? Refer to the assignment sheet for background information. Okay, so in the story Searching for Summer, I feel like it's important to know that sunshine is not something that people see every day. I feel like it's important to know in everyday use about the Black arts movement. And I provided lots of links for you in that assignment sheet. Okay, so go back, provide background information to the story. Finally, lead into your thesis statement. That's step 4. This is where you're going to tell your reader what factors about the plot, setting, and mood you are specifically analyzing. Okay, so it should address the plot, setting, and mood. It should be one concise statement, and it should outline your body paragraphs. Okay, try to use this template to write your thesis. In the short story, insert short story, Harrison Bergeron, Searching for Summer. The author lists the author's last name, creates a plot, establishes setting through the setting, and mood through the mood. Okay, so I know that's a lot of blanks, but I want you to fill in the parentheses. So, for example, in the short story, The Cask of Amontillado, author Edgar Allan Poe creates a person versus person conflict through a grudge held by Monstresor towards Fortunato, a suffocating setting through the catacombs, and an eerie mood through the story. Notice that thesis statement is one sentence, one concise statement. It outlines my body paragraphs. I'm going to talk about all of those things in more detail later on, and addresses each the plot, the setting, and the mood in one story. Okay, it does all of these things. Your thesis should look like this. That's why I provided this template here for you. Okay, feel free to use it. You are filling in the parentheses. Step 5, we're beginning our body paragraphs. Okay, I included on here my body paragraph structure format. This is super, super detailed, and this is super, super detailed. So you can feel free to go through this PowerPoint and make sure that yours fits this structure. That is exemplar. That is a body paragraph structure. What I'm really looking for, though, in your body paragraphs, being that this is the first essay of the year, is I'm looking for 3 things specifically. I'm looking for a topic sentence that states what you will be analyzing in that paragraph. Is this your plot paragraph? Is this your setting? Is this your mood paragraph? You need to connect back to your thesis. So if you mention that the author uses a person versus society conflict in your thesis statement, your first body paragraph should analyze that person versus society conflict. I'm looking for evidence for the text. You will need to go back to the short story and find a quote that shows exactly what you are claiming. Be sure to include a citation, the author's last name and page number. The year was 2081 and everyone was finally equal. Author's last name, Vonnegut, on page 1. Okay? Our quotes need to be no more than 4 lines. When you go to turn in your document on turnitin.com and you find that you are having huge issues with balance, it probably because your quotes are too long. No more than 4 lines. This is just a 1-line quote and it tells the setting very well. Okay? So, keep that in mind. For your explanation, you need to analyze your claim and your evidence is what that should say. Okay? So, explain to your reader what your author is doing. This should be the majority of your paragraph. Okay? In total, you should have 3 body paragraphs, 1 paragraph for the plot, 1 for the setting, 1 for the mood. See your chart for the analysis. The great thing about those charts, you might have found them irritating, you might have found them redundant. The great thing about them is if you did a great job filling them out and you were very detailed, this is already done. You already have analyzed the plot, the setting, and mood of one of the stories. Okay? Moving on, let's look at the conclusion paragraph. Begin your conclusion with a restated thesis. So go back to your thesis statement that you wrote in the beginning. Say it again, but say it differently. This is concluding your paragraph or your paper now. So now it should say something like, to conclude, author Kurt Vonnegut Jr. does this with the plot, this with the setting, and this with the mood. Summarize all of your main points and end your paragraph with something to think about. I think the best way to end your paper with something to think about is to connect back to your hook. Okay, so you started off really engaging. End your reader or end your writing connecting back to that hook so that you can end on a more engaging note. Okay, if you are in my classroom, you should see a body paragraph or a 5 paragraph structure anchor chart on the wall. Your essay should look like that. Last, your works cited page. Okay, so I included a works cited checklist for you. This is um, more detailed for how to get a works cited checklist or how to get a works cited page. Like most of the time, this is for research. You are only going to have one citation because you should only be quoting one story. Okay, so here are your options for being able to cite that. You can hit cite if you were working on a article. You can generate by EasyBib, or you can use the MLA formatting style guide on Purdue Writing Lab. Whenever you are done, you should be able to check every single one of these boxes. This is a checklist for you, okay? So your works cited should look like this example when you are done. And I know you're only going to have one of them. Okay? See how works cited is in the middle? Hanging indents, author's last name, first name, in quotes. Okay. I have also, on the wrong document here, I've also given you a work in an anthology. You can use this as a template too. Okay, so just fill in the author's last name, Vonnegut Jr., first name, Kurt, title of the essay, Harrison Bergeron. Copy and paste that when you're all done with this into the bottom of your works cited page. I can't stress this enough. It is so important that you have a works cited page because these are that is you giving your author credit for using their work. Okay, so if you do not give me a works cited page, papers without a works cited page will not be accepted. You need to give your author credit. I cannot grade it. Okay, that doesn't mean that you failed the essay. That doesn't mean that you're getting a permanent 0. As soon as you get a works cited page, I can grade it. Okay, so it's important that when you turn it in the first time, that it has a works cited page. All right, final steps here, and I'm wrapping up. Let's talk about revisions. If you are in class, you will revise with partners. If you are at home, you will need to find someone, a parent, a classmate, a neighbor, to go through the revision PowerPoint with you before you submit. If you click on this, you will see the revision PowerPoint. Go through it. It says every single thing you need, and that is if you want an A paper, which you all should want an A paper. Okay, that is the best I can do for you if you are at home. To be able to revise this, you can contact somebody in school, you can contact somebody at home, but as long as somebody else's eyes have seen your essay, I am okay with that, given the circumstances this year. Okay? In class, we'll revise with partners. We'll make sure that somebody else sees your essay. Okay? When done, submit to Canvas via the Turnitin link. I normally have students that have problems with this, whether they're at home or in class, so I made directions for you of how to turn it in with Canvas. The biggest thing is this step number 2. You only have the cloud on your drive since you are working on a Chromebook. Okay, so you will not be able to do an upload submission or file upload, or definitely do not do a text input. It messes up your format. Okay, so you need to go through the cloud. Okay, make sure you submit. Remember, we don't want more than 30% on your Turnitin receipt because of the fact that you are citing a little bit. It will pick up your quotes. Okay, so we shoot for 30%. If you get higher than that, we'll look at it and we'll revisit kind of what's going on here. At any point, too, if you just kind of want to see what you'll get, you can always hit this upload or resubmit button before the due date and just kind of see what you get. And also, if you want to be able to make corrections through that, that's a good option for you, too. Okay, so that is your analysis for your plot setting and mood essay. Okay, with questions, you can always email me at amazephi@savannahr3.com. I'm so looking forward to reading these.